Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Becky. If you have joined me before, thank you for coming back. And if this is your first time with me, then thank you for clicking on my video. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, anywhere like that as Becky Knits, and then on Ravelry as Becky Mundy. Couple of little announcements, or an announcement and then like a sort of give me your opinion thing at the top here. The announcement is that it seems a long way away, but in September I am planning to run my knit along again, 6 Sock September. If you are new here and you haven't heard of this, it is a knit along for sock knitters of any level, and the idea is that you knit 6 socks during September. The socks can be any size, any weight of yarn. They just have to be started during September, but they don't have to be like a pair. You can just knit, if you have like a pair that you need to finish, you can knit the second sock as long as it hasn't been started prior to September. I will do like a more in-depth video closer to the time, but I just wanted to give you a heads up because I don't know about you, but I like to plan my like knit alongs, make alongs, things like that like in advance so that I can start thinking about what I'm going to do. I will link you the video from last year. I'll put something up in the top corner here so you can go and get an idea. I think it's pretty much going to be the same. I haven't like finalised details with myself yet. So yeah, and in theory there will be prizes just like last year. I just need to sort those out as well because I haven't got that far yet. But that's the first announcement. And then the second, like I say, it's not really an announcement. It's more of a give me your opinion. I've been doing a lot more sewing recently, and so I just want to know whether or not you're interested in hearing like sewing stuff in this podcast, or whether you would like maybe like a separate little podcast thing that's just about sewing. So let me know. I think I'll do like a sort of taster of that later in the week, because I'm expecting quite a few sewing related parcels and things like that. So when they have all arrived, I will do a like sewing podcast, so you can kind of see. There'll be a little bit of sewing content in this week's knitting podcast, but yeah, let me know down below if you quite like seeing the sewing content in alongside the knitting content, but also if you just want like pure knitting and pure sewing, then let me know that as well. I think I have a couple of ideas for some like specifically sewing videos, which I would do separately anyway. But yeah, if you just want like the chatty podcasty thing to have everything in it, then let me know, just so I can decide what's going to work best. So it has been quite a heavy sort of a sewing period for me. I managed to get a like sewing space set up in our living room, and have actually managed to keep the desk clear mostly. That is always the biggest problem for me, and having space to sew is that, you know, we are a clean house, but like surfaces tend to just get things put on them, and it's like, we'll deal with that later. So I'm just going to put it there for now. But I've managed to keep my sewing table pretty clear, which means that I have actually been able to like sit down and just do like 2 minutes of sewing if I get the chance, because my sewing machine can be set up and is like there, it's looking at me. Yeah. And I've like made myself some lists. I've got my planner here, made myself some lists. I'm going to do a video all about how I am planning out my knitting and sewing at the moment, because it's really, really helped me to focus on things. It's not for everybody, and it's not like really like, you know, rigid, but for me personally, it's just really helped me focus and get a lot of those like languishing whips like out of the way, particularly with sewing. So yeah, so that's really helped. Having that space, having my list, keeping it clear has really helped me like be able to sit down and actually sew. And so I've been doing just that. You know, I'll sort of think, oh, I've got an hour, what can I do? And I'll look at my list and I'll pick something off it, and then I'll just do it. So last week I think I finished 6 whips. I didn't bring them with me because they've all been like distributed into their various places that they go, but I think I finished like 2 Christmas crowns, which have been sitting in my table for probably a couple of years, and just needed like top stitching, and I just hadn't gotten around to doing it. It took me 10 minutes. I finished a little like dungaree dress that I was making for a friend's baby. The baby is now 1 and over 1, and the dress was like newborn size. So yeah, it just needed a hem and poppers, and hems are like, in Jersey, hems are the things that really bother me because my sewing machine, for whatever reason, doesn't like my twin needle, and so I can't get like a really nice neat hem. Really bugs me. So I do like a lightning stitch. I just don't like as much how it looks. So yeah, but anyway, I got 2 t-shirts finished that the boys have now worn, lots, which is great. I've lost count, but yeah, so lots of things have just been finished, and that's been really nice, and then has like made it easier for me to focus on some other projects that are coming my way. I finished the boys' birthday shirts, but they are in the wash again because they love them, and so they're just wearing them all the time. I think you have now seen pictures of both of those. I think I put pictures in last week's episode, or not last week, the week before, that episode, because yeah, I got those finished and got pictures of them wearing them, and yeah, they really love them, and that really kind of reignited my Sojo. So I have been doing a lot of sewing, and Andrew, my husband, has been saying, I want a shirt, could I have a shirt? And for ages I was like, no, because the idea of making like a full-grown man shirt was really intimidating. But last week or the week before, we went to the fabric shop, and I said, okay, pick some fabric. So he picked some fabric. I bought the Cameron button-up pattern from Helen's Closet, and the pattern is fantastic. It's so comprehensive. I really enjoyed making it. Spoilers. So I have a finished shirt to show you this week. Ta-da! I'm really pleased with how it turned out. There's 2 like only things. One is that I think the buttonholes are a little bit big, so the buttons pop open a bit too easily. So I just need to get new buttons that are slightly bigger than this, so that I can replace those, which is fine. It only took me 20 minutes to sew on all the buttons. So there's that. But other than that, in terms of like what I had control over, it's great, and I'm really pleased, and I really loved making it, and I am definitely going to be making more. The other thing is, and I don't know how to like solve this problem, my husband is a cyclist, and so his shoulders are quite like forward instead of, you know, back like most people's. His shoulders are sort of brought forward a bit. He's very tall, and he's got quite broad shoulders, so I had to add 2 inches of length, no, 1 inch of length to the body and 2 inches of length to the shoulders here, and then I added like 1.5 inches to the sleeve length. But then on the back, because his shoulders come forward a little bit, he gets quite a lot of excess fabric here, but I don't know, I couldn't have, the way that the pattern has you add fabric, I couldn't add fabric to the front of the sleeve without adding it to the back of the sleeve, because you just lengthen the sleeve cap. So I don't know how to fix that. It looks fine on him. It might just be one of those things. I might have a look at, the thing is, like, a lot of his shop bought shirts don't fit nicely because he is slim but tall. So if he buys a small, then it's too short, and so it's like small in all of the places that he needs extra length, and then if he buys a medium, it's too big. So I can't, you know, compare to a shop bought shirt. So I don't know, still figuring that one out. I might just have to, I don't know. No idea. He might just have to live with that. But if you have any ideas of ways that I could, like, I'll see if I can get a picture and put that in of what I mean. But yeah, other than that, it fits great. It's a really nice length. It looks big on him, but I think that's because we're so used to seeing him in shirts that are not big enough. So, or not long enough. So yeah, so that is the big sewing project that I've been working on for the last couple of weeks. I have bought a lot of patterns recently, a lot of patterns. And like I say, I'm going to show those to you in a dedicated sewing video because they haven't all arrived yet. Not all my fabric has arrived. I just need to get myself organised with that. So yeah, but I'm excited to show you those things and to get working on them. And then in knitting, it's been a slow week and a half of knitting because I have been doing so much sewing in the evenings. And what else have we been doing? There was the Stranger Things final. That was like, well, that was only an evening's worth of watching, but I couldn't knit. I got out my Stranger Things, this is a Stranger Halloween yarn from The Lonely Knitter. I got this out to cast it on. I even made myself a little Eggo stitch marker, progress keeper, and I sat with my project bag like on my knee and the yarn and the needles like just next to me because I couldn't cast on a sock whilst I was paying attention. I should have cast something on, you know, at the beginning of the series, so that I was like more into it for the finale. But yeah, so I'll cast that on at some other point. I did work a little bit on my sock design though while we were watching the finale. Yeah, I got one of my socks for my design finished. Here it is. So that's the pattern sorted. I know what the stitch pattern is going to be like. I know how it works all the way down the foot. I'm knitting on the second one now. The yarn is Fear of the Dark from Castleview Yarns. So here it is. And I just need to cast on a quick test for the heel flap and gusset. I think I mentioned this last week. The pattern is going to have a heel flap and gusset because the heel that I do for my own socks, the fish lip kiss heel, is a paid for pattern, so I can't put it in my pattern. I was like, it's somebody else's pattern, so I can't just steal that and put it in. So just get that end out of the way. So yeah, I need to just do a test with the heel flap and gusset, and I have to admit, it's not my favourite heel to do because I don't know, I just don't enjoy it very much. So I'm like kind of putting it off, but I want to test it before it goes to test knitters because I don't want to send a pattern to test knitters if it's not got any chance of working. So yeah, but I'm probably just going to knit the heel flap and into the gusset just to make sure that the stitches are all end up in the right place, and then it will go out to test knitters. So I might cast that on today and start, like, put this to one side, my pair to one side, do the heel flap and gusset version, and then I can think about getting it out to test knitters because I would really like the test knit to be done and for the pattern to be ready in time for 6 Sock September. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But that is it. That is what I've been knitting on. Literally just that. We were supposed to be on holiday this week, and I'll talk more about this in life stuff. We were supposed to be on holiday this week, so I had plans to be taking lots of knitting with me, but we didn't go. So I ended up having more time to sew, which was really great. I'm happy that I was able to sew, but it means that the knitting that I was planning on doing didn't happen because we're not on holiday. I do a lot of knitting in the car when we have long drives, and we were going to be going to Whitby in Yorkshire, so that was going to be 5-6 hours in the car. So I lost out on, like, you know, 5 hours knitting there, 5 hours knitting back. So yeah, anyway, that is it for knitting. I have got some acquisitions right behind me here. Like I say, I'm just going to be covering my yarny acquisitions. Oh, I've forgotten one. Where is it? Oh no, I did that one last week, that's fine. My forks one from Nora George. I thought that I hadn't included that last week, but I have. So I'm just going to do the yarn acquisitions. The sewing acquisitions will come in my sewing video. So yeah, I mentioned that we'd watched the Stranger Things finale of season 4. Oh my gosh. And so I went a bit Stranger Things yarn mad, and I bought 4 skeins of Stranger Things themed yarn. I'll start with the ones that you won't be able to get because they are from Bumblebee Acres, and I managed to snag mine in the last update. So sorry, as far as I'm aware, you can't get these anymore. I don't know which one to start with. I'm holding this one. So I got this one, which is, the main skein is called somebody's like strimming or sawing or something. I'm going to keep going and hope that it's not too distracting. The main skein is Stranger Things, and the mini skein is Hawkins Curse. And this is on their squishy sock, which is 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. It is so pretty. I'm so excited to get this. I've been wanting to get some Bumblebee Acre yarn for a while because Lindsay of Sock Witchery is always talking about how wonderful they are and how beautiful they are, and I wanted some of my own, so I did treat myself. And then also from Bumblebee Acre, I got this one, which is the Hellfire Club. That's the main skein, and then this is D&D mini, and this is on their Coquette sock, which is 75% superwash Corriedale and 25% nylon, and it is a 3-ply. I have not worked with a Corriedale nylon blend before, so I will be excited to try this one. Again, I think this is the one, no, this is definitely the one that Lindsay of Sock Witchery loves to buy. So I thought, well, as I'm ordering from Bumblebee Acre, I might as well try out this blend, this makeup of sock yarn that I haven't tried before, that seems to be popular. I think it's quite, it looks like it's going to be like warm, quite sort of hard wearing. It's soft, but it's definitely not as soft as the merino. It's definitely got a slightly more woolly texture to it, that I think for, you know, colder months it's going to be good. So I'm excited for that one as well. So those are my Bumblebee Acres, and then they came with a tea bag and a little tiny like light bulb stitch marker, and then some stickers. So there's Max's t-shirt and skateboard, and Kate Bush cassette tape, and Hellfire Club with the Bumblebee Acres logo in the middle. So yeah, that's cool. Very excited. Can't decide where I'm going to put these. I don't know, but I'm excited to stick them somewhere. And then I got slightly closer to home, very much closer to home, all the way from Lowestoft. This is from The Lonely Knitter, from Laura's recent collection, Stranger Things collection. So this one is 11, and this is the superwash merino nylon blend, and Eddie the Freak, which which I love. Eddie was definitely my favourite character from season 4. Yeah. So if you watch Stranger Things, then you'll know how I feel about that. Excuse me while I go and sob. So those are the ones I got from The Lonely Knitter. They are so pretty. So pretty. So I'm really excited to get those cast on and knit up. No plans particularly for those, just knew I needed them. Yeah, I just knew I needed them. So that is it, I think, for the like knitty, crafty, fibery content for this week. Yeah, it's been, so I'm going to slip into life stuff now. It's been a bit of a funny couple of weeks. My husband is off work at the moment, which is just a bit weird anyway, because he's not usually off work. Usually he, like, if he's going to take time off, it'll be a weekend and we'll go and see his parents, or it'll be, you know, a week or two and we'll go on holiday or something like that. But at the moment he's off, and so he's around, which is really nice, but has changed the flow of our days, because instead of it just being like me and the boys, or me and a boy, whatever, we're all at home. And so we are kind of taking the opportunity, particularly because Aiden starts school in September, we are taking the opportunity to do more stuff. Yeah. So we were supposed to be going on holiday. We were supposed to leave Saturday. It's Wednesday today. We were supposed to leave last Saturday, but last Wednesday afternoon, when Rory came home from nursery, I was like, oh, he's got some spots like on his bum. I was like, it's probably just nappy rash, it's fine. And then I was like, oh wait, hang on, he's got some spots like on his knees as well. And we were like, okay. And then when he woke up on Thursday morning, it was like, yeah, this is definitely chickenpox. So we didn't send him into nursery on Friday. We didn't send Aiden in on Thursday or Friday, because we sort of thought, oh well, if Rory's got it, then Aiden's probably got it, not really realising that like it can take like 10 to 21 days or something from exposure to chickenpox to actually like showing symptoms, and you're like infectious for 2 days before you get spots. So it was like, really, we probably should have just sent Aiden to school, to nursery, because yeah, it's such a tricky like decision to make, but he didn't have any symptoms of chickenpox, so we probably should have just sent him. But he still doesn't have any symptoms, and Rory's is now cleared up. You know, his spots have all scabbed over. He had like probably less than 20 spots, like, you know, total. So we were really, really lucky with him, and he didn't get temperature. He had maybe like a day where he was a bit grumpy, but other than that, he was like absolutely fine, which was kind of relieving, obviously, because you don't want to see your child in discomfort and like poorly. But on the other hand, was also a bit frustrating because he was like bouncing off the walls and we couldn't go anywhere. It's like, if you're gonna be sick, then can you just be like that kind of sick where you have to like rest on the sofa and watch a film, please? But no. But anyway, so he's back at nursery today. But yeah, we couldn't go on holiday. We decided we probably could have gone, but we just thought we wouldn't be able to go anywhere. You know, we'd have had to have just sat in somebody else's house, because we got a like holiday rental. We'd have had to sit in somebody else's house for who knows how long. Like, if he like suddenly got really ill with it, then we'd be away from home, and that would just be a bit stressful. And then if Aiden came down with it as well, we didn't know how he was going to react to it, so we just thought, oh, it's going to be much easier to stay home. So that's a bit disappointing, because we were really looking forward to it, but obviously you just have to do what's best at the time. So we've got, you know, bonus week of, you know, Andrew off and us just being at home. We can do some things around here now that Rory's better. So So yeah, Rory's gone to nursery today. He's going to be exhausted, I think. And this morning, I just got a new bike. So last week, before Rory got ill, I got a new bike. I got an electric, like, town bike thing with like a little wicker basket on the front and then a child's seat on the back. And I'm hoping that this is going to make doing the school run a bit easier in the summer. I got an electric bike because I have like some joint and like fatigue things, which mean that like riding my usual bike can be like quite hard going sometimes. So the electric bike just gives me that little boost that I need, and it has been fantastic. I've been using it quite a bit actually. I'm really enjoying myself. So that was a definite good purchase. So yeah, it's nice because I don't cycle a lot. And I'm a bit nervous cycling on roads and things, whereas Andrew cycles loads, and so he's a lot more confident. So it's good while he's off because it means I can cycle with him to places and he can put the kids in his bike because we've got a cargo bike. So the kids go in the front of that and I can cycle along and learn the route without being stressed about the fact that I've got my precious child on the back of the bike. So yeah, and then hopefully by the time he goes back to work, I'll be a little bit more confident cycling just on the road in general, cycling my bike in general, and that might mean that I'm a bit more confident to cycle the cargo bike. So all round good. So yeah, so that's what's been going on recently. Yeah. Anyway, somehow, despite the fact that I have had so little knitting to talk about, I've still managed to talk for about 30 minutes. So I'm going to go because I could just ramble on and on and on. So yeah, keep your eye open for the sewing podcast tester that I'm going to do later this week. And anything with 6th of September. I've got a couple of ideas for a couple of other videos, so keep your eye open for those. Let me know down below if you like the idea of a separate sewing video. I'll ask you that again in the sewing video as well, so if you want to wait until you've seen the sewing video before you decide, you can post in that one instead of in this one. Whatever works. So yeah. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!